What a night in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium as we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show for the 5th round of Monster Energy AMA Supercross. That's what it's all about. You ask what this round's about? There it is right there. Malcolm Stewart.
Hey, I got to get a photo with you, buddy. Yeah. Thank you. So proud of this guy. Yes. Dude, this is so awesome. This feels so good.
Well, there's going to be lots of people wanting to get their picture taken with Malcolm Stewart, that's for sure. Trainer Alden Baker, they've put in a lot of hard days. They've put in a lot of work at the Baker factory.
We got to get up there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Hey, you're riding it up.
Lovely to eavesdrop on this celebratory moment for Malcolm Stewart. It's been almost 3 years since he was on a podium. He has never been on the top of a podium in 450 Supercross until tonight.
Hey, that last lap.
That last lap. Well, Malcolm, let's go and have a look at it. Let's have a look at the last lap. Let's have a look at the first lap. Let's have a look at what it went down today in the 450 class. It got started with a shock to Eli Tomac's left foot.
Yeah, just what, that foot got caught between his foot peg and his frame going on the up ramp, and you just hate to see that for sure. There he goes limping off. I was scared that he had re-injured his Achilles.
Yeah. And then heat racing time, and Hunter Lawrence had this awkward moment, slammed the ground hard, and that was the end of his night.
Yeah, tough week for the Lawrence family. You know, with Hunter going there, first lap of that heat race, but here we go.
450 main, and the start by the points leader, Chase Sexton, was just perfect.
Yeah. He was, I mean, until the end when it counted, but man, there were some great rides by a lot of people here and some missed opportunities as well. But I go back to Ken Roxon, and he was a victim of unfortunate circumstance. I wouldn't say it was all out of it. Some of it was in his control, but a great pass by Justin Cooper there. Justin Cooper had a great night, by the way.
Yeah, and it looked like for a while Kenny was making his way up as he gets around Jason here coming up, making his way. Jason did a good job. Things looked like it was starting to unravel for him a little bit. He actually got passed by Cooper, obviously with Kenny, but he was able to hang on and ended up third. But yeah, the thing for Kenny, you thought maybe he was going to try to go out to Chase, but here's a number 27.
It wasn't just Roxon on the move, it was Malcolm Stewart, and especially through the whoops, that was Anderson for third. Next on his list, Ricky, was Roxon.
Yeah, and he marches right up through the field. I mean, Malcolm looked like he was a day at the practice track, just logging laps. I mean, the guy could do no wrong. Picture perfect, and this is where he's making up a lot of the speed. And look at that time gap and distance he made up on Kenny. Probably 4 or 5 bike lengths. He discards Kenny like a 2 of clubs right here. He's going to march on forward, but he was good in the whoops. But listen, he was good everywhere on the track, straight up. I mean, he was awesome.
This was a frightening crash suffered by Ken Roxon.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. Cooper was able to get between the two lappers. Kenny got the short end of that stick. Tristan Lane goes down, and then
hit Hand, right? Hit Jeremy Hand.
Yeah, Jeremy Hand there. You can see Eli going by and
derails his chain when he collides with Jeremy Hand. That's what, I mean, I wouldn't say that's what initiated this going down, but that's what initiated that chain derailment, is he collided with Jeremy Hand, chain comes off.
Eli Tomac hung tough. It was very difficult, riding injured, but he was able to put together a 17th place finish. Meanwhile, at the front, the pressure was mounting on Chase Sexton because Malcolm Stewart was just flying, and then this.
Yeah, man, and the same thing happened a couple of years ago here. Chase got a little while in the whoops. The whoops are actually in the same spot, just going the opposite way, and you kind of knew. Chase kind of felt that coming. You know, he did a good job at, getting back up. I wonder if something was bent up on the bike as Cooper Webb goes past him in second. Chase is going to end up in 5th place, but for him, the silver lining is he actually extended his points lead, but the night was for this guy right here. First time ever.
First time winner on a really demanding track, but the ride of his life. Malcolm Stewart, nobody has to ask anymore if or when, because it's now.
And the way he did this, I mean, he was the best rider on the racetrack.
100%.
He didn't luck into this. No, he caught Chase. He was clearly the best guy. He had the fastest lap of the race, and just shows you what momentum does. And
Oh, man, that was awesome.
It sure was awesome. Malcolm Stewart wins, shares the podium with Cooper Webb and Jason Anderson. And then Justin Cooper put in a good ride. Sexton will get to the bottom of that because he was unable to challenge anybody who came up and passed him after that fall.
Savachi, good run for that quad lock Honda team, as well as McElrath, both riders in the top 10. Great job for that race team.
Oldenburg down there in 11th.
Yeah, good performance for Beta. Really good night for them. I mean, listen, they had some help, but you got to be in it. Yep. You got to be in it. That's why we race.
Justin Hill was docked a position for allegedly cutting the track, so that's why he finished where he did and not a little higher. And again, spare a thought for Ken Roxon and Eli Tomac, two completely different circumstances, but two legends of the sport with really tough nights. But there's been a lot of movement on the points board, particularly on the positive for Cooper Webb and Jason Anderson, jumping 2 and 3 positions respectively into 2nd and 3rd, and a tough night on the points board for Roxon and Tomac. But Chase Sexton still leads, heading to Detroit by 5 points, and Malcolm Stewart goes from 9th to 6th. So a super positive night, and let's keep the Stewart family story going as we join Katie Osborne. Katie?
Yeah, Lee Diffie, we can absolutely do that down here with Malcolm Stewart, Big James, and Nate Ramsey. Man, I wish you guys had the commentary as Malcolm was watching back what we just saw, that whole race. I'm sure you're now kind of sitting in the moment and reflecting, watching that. Give us a little snippet of what you just shared with all of us watching back.
Man, it's just going through that whole emotions. I felt like that was the longest 20 minutes plus one race of my life. But you know, my dad, Nate Ramsey, the whole Husqvarna team, they've always told me, like, dude, if you have the ability to win, right? And Nate's been in my corner since day one, all the way back from, you know, when I was a young kid, and just sharing this moment years later is an awesome opportunity. And I know he's just as happy as I am, and my dad, you know, like, he's been through it all, you know, both me and my brother going through it, and I know for a fact he's a happy dad right now. Having both of his sons finally getting an opportunity to win a race, that's a dream come true, and I'm happy for him. And Dad, I love you. I love you too.
And you can see the emotion in your eyes. Your body language is speaking to it. And as was said, how happy are you?
I'm thrilled. I mean, it's just, I can't believe it. You know, this kid here, I didn't want him to race motorcycle. I want him to fish with me. And he's got the best of both worlds. You know, he still loves fishing, and we both fish a lot, and we go to a lot of races. So, I mean, I'm proud of him. I mean, it's just, I don't have the words for it. I mean, we've been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. I have never let up. That I told him that I don't think he ever win a race. I tell him every week, you can do it. I just need you to believe in it. But I can tell you right now, Tampa, Florida, y'all get ready, because we hungry now.
That I can only imagine so. And that belief, Nate, that's one of those things that you've had to give to Malcolm time and time again. He just mentioned that he fought for it day in, day out, and that is encouragement through you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Malcolm has the skill set to get the job done. We've known it for years, over 10 years. We've been doing stuff together, and I'm just so proud. The hair's still standing up on the back of my neck. I mean, he rode an amazing, amazing race, and he finally displayed what he's capable of. I couldn't be prouder.
And Malcolm, for you, as you kind of celebrate this moment, what does this actually, how does this define you?
You know, it's this is a team effort. We've dug deep for a long time at this, and I want more. I want more. I want more. Now that I finally know what it feels like to get that heat on my back, I want more of it. And we as a team, we've done a phenomenal job, but we're just getting started now. I'm hungry now. This 32-year-old boy hungry now.
You right now are within the championship. It's something that you can now start to feel it. You're chasing it. You're looking at it. How does that let that fire? You're talking about the fire in your back. You got a little fire under you now too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I want more wins. Like, now I'm like, this is what it feels like to win? Look, we got more in the tank. You know, we ain't done now. We're just getting started. So as again, the whole Husqvarna group, Nate, my mom, my dad, Roger Larson, Jared, my mechanic, Dave, my mechanic at home, everybody has put a tremendous amount of work in me, and so thankful that I was able to show this effort to those guys, and we all can celebrate as a team win because this is a team effort and we all deserve it.
Yeah. Congratulations. You had the belief of your family, the support of the team, 108 tries to get it done, and you finally did it. Congratulations.
It don't matter how many times we don't try, but we got it now.
And there's more to come, gentlemen. I have a feeling more to come.
I'm on the history book now, so whenever 20 years from now, my name is right there at home.
And that's what means so much, especially to do it here in his home state of Florida. Lovely to have you with us, Lee Diffie, Ricky Carmichael, and the big brother, James Stewart. All right, when it happened live, it was all very frantic. There was lots going on. You've had a few minutes to soak it in, to digest it. Big moment for your family.
I mean, huge moment. I'm just proud of Malcolm, honestly. You know, we've won a lot of races and stuff, and had the opportunity to kind of go through what he's been through. But at the end of the day, he's going to lay his head on the pillow and realize that, you know, we've all been there to help him. But at the end of the day, he's the one that went out there and did it. And he's got it. We can all believe in him, but he's got to believe in himself. And I felt like tonight and even today, it was just a difference in him. You know, he was listening and he just felt like, man, something might be special. And as crazy as this race has been, the craziest this week to be, I don't think you can end it any crazier than this. And, man, I'm so proud of my younger, bigger brother in there, and I just feel like, you know, just keep stepping those chips.
One of the most amazing things that when we follow this tour around the country, the support of the crowd that your little brother has. It's like the crowd. We could be in Arizona, we could be here in Florida, we could be in Foxborough in Massachusetts. It's like the crowd were willing, for years, they've been willing Malcolm to win. Even if he makes a pass for 5th or something, he electrifies this crowd. So Ricky, to see this moment come to fruition, it's kind of like this has been building for a long time.
Well, it is, and I go back to what Nate Ramsey said. I mean, you could see the potential in Malcolm. You could see his technique, his style, how good, and the bike ability that he's had. He's always been fast on whips, but he rode that whole racetrack fantastically. But I go back to the beginning days, like Big James said. He didn't want Malcolm to race. He wanted him to go fishing. And I know that because when, you know, James' mom and dad was taking him races and amateurs, like they were just letting him go do his thing, and then he would start racing. Then he would quit racing. It's like when we were going to amateur races, I would say, like, is Malcolm racing this weekend? Like, no, he's not racing. And to think of what he's accomplished in a short amount of time, and listen, this guy casts a massive ray of light. He has done some stuff in this sport that no one will ever touch and can ever do. So think about that, what that's like for Malcolm, trying to live, you know, in his shoes. It's tough to do, and I think that everyone sees that. You know, the fans do. I think the competitors do. And that's why they're so happy for him is what I believe.
Yes.
It was cool to see
moment.
that.
And a part on this track where Malcolm was unbelievably fast and efficient and effective tonight was through the whoops. And that's where we find JT.
I'm standing in the whoops, the side of the whoops that was pivotal in that 450 main event. This is exactly where things went awry for Chase Sexton, and I'm going to show you why that happened. Now, these whoops, if you heard Cooper Webb talk about it after his heat race win, he talked about the track prep, and what he meant was the difference between how hard some sections are and how loose other sections are, and that's creating wheel spin, that's creating unpredictability. So each time a rider goes through the whoops, they don't know what's going to happen, and that's what caught Chase Sexton out. Now, moving to the next whoop, you're going to see how uneven these whoops are. And that rear tire is trying to grab traction, but if it starts to hop side to side to side, you start to lose the front end, even though the rear is what's trying to grab traction. That's why you saw Chase Sexton almost horizontal coming out of him. The rear broke traction, that got him at an awkward angle, and then the front broke traction, and off he went. Now, we've been talking week after week about these different types of whoops. This is some of the most treacherous style of whoops we've run into because it has both loose dirt and slippery dirt, and it's amazing how good and how consistent that Malcolm Stewart was able to get through here, because this is one of the toughest setups we've seen. So we'll see what Detroit brings, but winning and losing was really decided right here in this whoop section tonight.
Such a pivotal place for Malcolm Stewart. He'll remember that for sure. And they were pretty gnarly whoops too.
Oh, unbelievable. I went down there twice qualifying practice, and they were hard, slip. Like JT, that was a great report. They were hard and slippery, very tricky. And then you saw that replay of Chase. He lost that front end, and it was along for the ride.
So looking a little further down the road and ahead on the year, of course, this is Monster Energy AMA Supercross, all part of the SMX World Championship. And the playoffs and the finale, there it is for you. Kicks off September 6th, ZMAX Dragway in North Carolina. Then September 13, the following week at the Dome at America's Center in St. Louis. And then the following weekend, back to Vegas for the Strip for the World Championship finale. All right, that's 450s taken care of. Let's go to 250s because it was an eventful night for sure. And so much build-up about this East Coast, this East Division Championship, purely because of the names. They were everywhere. 10 different riders have won. And we couldn't wait to get this thing started. And boy, what a start from the Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racers. They were everywhere at the front.
Yeah, they actually went in that corner 1 through 4 on there, just slid, but it was early. Pierce Brown getting around his teammate Max Anstey. And we thought for a minute he was going to be able to do what he did that heat race before the red flag, starting to pull away, but Max, clever old veteran, just staying there, kind of letting this race go, and then there was the moment for RJ.
Oh, I know. We were talking about it off air, just like poor RJ, right?
That's RJ-ish things, and you know, unfortunately for him, that red start, the red flag came out.
Yep.
We thought maybe he would get another opportunity. I'm thinking he went down again because he got lapped, but
this is the moment that caused the red flag. Pierce Brown. This was a really scary moment. And he needed medical attention. So the race was stopped with 8 minutes to go. Pierce Brown acknowledging the crowd as the Alpine Stars medical team took him away. And there was a staggered restart with his teammate, Max Anstey, at the front, Daxton Bennick following, and then Cameron McAdoo riding injured with a knee injury, but boy, did he hang tough tonight.
Knee injury, blown out ACL over a practice crash, not from him, rider error. It was not a rider error, but look at that. Cullen Park giving Forkner the business coming out of that corner, but Forkner's he's had a tough road today. He was sick, under the weather, running a fever, stomach bug as well, and definitely not his day.
So, for the third time in his 250 career, he won a race last year and kicks off 2025 the best possible way. Max Anstey, victorious and comfortably so over his teenage teammate, Daxton Bennick, who, by the way, was deemed to have jumped on the red cross flag. He keeps second, but loses 5 championship points. And then McAdoo, with that huge, gutsy performance, standing on the podium ahead of his teammate from Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. The champ from the East last year, Tom Vial, in the top 5. Stu, who else caught your eye there?
I mean, honestly, I think Levi Kitchen. I'm not sure what happened. Obviously, he went down earlier in that race, but that was before the red flag. And, you know, he just seemed off all day. He just seemed off a little bit. So I don't know if what's going on with him, but that definitely caught my eye. And let's see if he rebounds next weekend, because he's going to have to for sure.
Tough break for Volan as well. He was riding pretty well. You talk about that handbrake. Lee described it perfectly during the broadcast, and hate to see that for Max for sure. And then, of course, Pierce. Hopefully he's all right.
So, of course, being the season opener, points are going to reflect, or are they? They're not, because Daxton Bennick got that 5-point penalty. So Cameron McAdoo, even though he finished 3rd in the race, finds himself in 2nd. And Seth Hammaker, while he finished 4th in the race, finds himself 3rd in the points, as Max Anstey takes this 250 East Championship to Detroit with a 5-point lead. I think it's fair to say, RC, isn't it, that we came into this race so excited about 250 East. It gave us so much, but certainly not predictable.
Bittersweet, for sure, is what I come away with this race here tonight at Tampa Raymond James Stadium. Watching Malcolm win his first premier Supercross win was incredible. Having the pleasure to do it with you two guys up in the booth, I'll never forget this moment. Core memory for sure. Some unfortunate injuries, looks like, with Eli. Hopefully he'll be okay. That was a tough main event for him. Kenny, just bad luck. I mean, you couldn't, if you tried to do that a million times, you couldn't do what happened to him. Rarely do you see that happen, a collision, and then you derail your chain. So he loses massive points. However, Cooper Webb, I think this was a big night for him. Points-wise, he looked like a different rider. I think he's here to play. I think he is here to play, and Chase Sexton better take note.
And in the 250s, James, a lot of guys will go to this next race on the back foot. They're playing catch-up. The likes of Faulkner, the likes of Hampshire, the likes of Volan. I mean, we talk about the depth of this 250 East field, but there's a lot of guys in positions they didn't expect or hope to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, when you're looking at that podium, you know, Max Anstey was probably the one that we were like, okay, that's not shocking. You know, RJ going down, and, you know, Tom Vial had a quiet 5th place. So, honestly, I don't think we got to really see this stacked field in the East Coast yet. You know, I know it's the first race, but it seemed like guys were just kind of surviving at this point. So, next week, they got this first one out of the way. They'll be used to it. I think we'll really start to see how this field and how deep it is next week. Hopefully, Austin gets healthier and gets that sickness, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a long season for these guys, but if you're Max Anstey, man, this is what you wanted.
Perfect start, that's for sure, and that appropriately takes us to the manufacturer's points. And remember, the combined with 250, 450 competition sees the Blue Crew, Yamaha on top over Kawasaki and KTM. And there they are for the 2025 season, combined all up, with Honda in 3rd place, some 37 back of Yamaha. But we're really only just getting things going, aren't we? It's only race weekend number 5 on the season, so much more to come. I want to remind you too that Supercross is a proud partner of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for the 2025 season, and by becoming a monthly donor, you could help St. Jude give every child with cancer a chance. Donate $19 or more a month and you'll get an exclusive Love Moto Stop Cancer t-shirt. You can text SUPER to 785-833 to learn more. All right, next up, it is Detroit. So let's take a look at the Yamaha track map. What's on store next week?
You like Detroit? You like racing in Detroit?
I think I won a couple races, so absolutely I like it. But another right-handed first corner, these guys gonna have to deal with that. But
more sweeping, though.
Yeah, more sweeping, and you know, after this weekend, Detroit's probably gonna feel like a field day for these guys. But last time I was there was super hard base, and you know, sometimes you go there slippery, sometimes you get there with a lot of ruts in it. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, if you're healthy, and you just got to rebound in that 250 class, all those guys. But
yeah, I like this track. Seems like it has a few more 180 corners in there. The ground's normally a little bit harder here, but still kind of compact design. So I think it'll be tight, not very fast.
All right, here's some key times for you for next weekend. Race Day Live, we'll get it going nice and early at 9:30 a.m. live on Peacock. It's an early gate drop at 3, and then there's an encore performance on Sunday on network television. And of course, for everybody outside the US, the SuperMotocross Video Pass is where you can catch everything. It's time for us to say goodbye, but Stu, for Ricky and myself, for you, your family, Malcolm, congrats, mate. That was massive tonight.
Yes. And thank you guys, and being able to call it with you guys.
Heck yeah,
thank you so much. What a night.
Well done to Max Anstey, 250 East winner. You feel for Chase Sexton, the points leader, dropping it, but this night belongs to Malcolm Stewart, a 450 winner, finally. Woo!